Good afternoon. I am Saad Al-Aziz, the owner and head instructor of Semper Fortis Jitsu here in San Antonio, Texas. And this week's video, I'm gonna do sort of change the pace, and instead of talking about jiu-jitsu, I want to talk about our families and our loved ones and people that we care about, that might be going through a tough time right now. And what I mean by that is, of course, I'm sure unless you live in a cave in Afghanistan, you probably are aware that there's been a great amount of turmoil in Afghanistan with our government pulling out. And what my concern is not about politics, and I don't want to have a conversation about politics, because I know one side is going to be like, oh, it's all the Republicans' fault, and the other side is going to be, oh, it's all the Democrats' fault, and they're both half right. It's both the Republicans and Democrats' fault. But I don't want to talk about politics. I want to talk about the service members who have given so much, and this is a really tough time for a lot of our service members. Our service members that serve there in Afghanistan, because a lot of them lost loved ones, they lost limbs, they lost a large part of their lives, and they're having a very difficult time right now dealing with what they're seeing on TV. And of course, whether you turn the channel to CNN, Fox, CNNBC, ABC, they're all talking about this nonstop. And if you go on social media, there's a bunch of experts on social media that are talking about this nonstop, whether you're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I was even in on LinkedIn, and I thought that was supposed to be a job site. And oh man, they're just all talking about this situation. And it can be really overwhelming for people that sacrifice so much in that country, that they're being bombarded with this news, and it can cause them to feel, it can be very depressing for them. And so one of the things that they don't talk about on CNN or Fox or CNBC or any of these other entertainment channels is they don't talk about things like Mission 22, where 22 veterans a day, it's estimated 22 veterans a day commit suicide. They're not talking about that on TV or on social media. But those are our loved ones. Those are our sons and daughters that are going through a difficult time. And, we need to be thinking about, our veterans who, are going through a tough time, and reaching out to them and helping them. There's organizations that are there to support the veterans, and sometimes we just don't even know about these organizations when you're a veteran. Like probably one of the most powerful organizations that I think the world of is located right outside of San Antonio. It's a group called Warrior's Heart, and it's a retreat to help rehabilitate veterans who are dealing with PTSD, alcohol and drug addiction problems. And this group, Warrior's Heart, they are there for the veterans, and they have helped save so many lives and turn lives around. And it's a great resource, for if you know somebody that's struggling. Other groups like the We Defy Foundation, they work tirelessly to put combat wounded service members in jiu-jitsu programs across the country as a way of helping rehabilitate service members who are combat injured, and help give them a sense of purpose. And it's a very suicide is a very serious issue, and I don't have the answers for it. Like, I don't think anybody has the answer for it, and every person is unique. I know our school was hit just almost 2 years ago, where we had 2 suicides back to back, like in following months, and it's just devastating to lose your friends and your loved ones like that, and then to see the impact on those who were left behind. It was a terrible time, for those families, for those friends, and and we all made such wonderful, loving speeches in their memory, but it's something to think about. Like, maybe don't wait until the funeral to tell these people how much you love them and how much you care about them and how much they mean to you. This is a good time to let them know now. And I'm not saying reach out to these veterans, to these loved ones that served in Afghanistan, and talk about what they went through, or talk about what you heard on CNN or Fox or CNNBC or where's that, MSNBC, whatever those channels are. Like, most likely they probably don't want to talk to you about Afghanistan, but if they bring up the subject, let them talk. And but talk about anything. Go fishing, go ride a motorcycle, go go do Jitsu, of course, go hiking on a trail, like go do a barbecue with them, like bring them into your life, and let them know how important they are to you. Because sometimes when people get depressed, they feel like they're all alone in the world, and maybe like they feel like they don't, no one cares. So I can't stress enough, don't wait to express these feelings at the funeral. Express them now. Reach out to these loved ones that you care about, and see how they're doing. Don't wait for them to reach out to you, because they might not ever reach out to you. Reach out to them. Say, hey, hey, how you doing? I was thinking about you. You don't have to bring up, hey, I was thinking about you because I know you served in Afghanistan and I was watching about what's going on in Afghanistan in the news. That doesn't have to be the lead conversation. It's got, you're thinking about them because you love them, because you care about them, and it's a good time to talk. Let's hang out, let's go do something. And if you need somebody to talk to, you can talk to me. Let them know, you're there for them and that you care. We might not be able to save everybody, but that doesn't mean we can't try. And so just know that it's a very difficult time for many of our veterans, and reach out, try to be there for them. I'm worried about a number of my friends. I saw one of my friends, who I know served in Afghanistan, and he had posted that, now that, it's lost, that, like, he just wasted his life and his sacrifice was for nothing, and he's embarrassed about serving there. And I'm like, bro, you did your duty. Like, the U.S. military members, we don't get to pick what wars we're going to fight in. You volunteer for the military, and then the commander-in-chief, whoever that person is, they pick what war you're going to go fight in. And they pick the terms of how you're going to fight that war. And then they get to pick when we're done fighting that war. The U.S. military don't get to choose. You don't get to choose what war you're going to fight in, how you're going to fight it, and when the fighting is going to be over. Those decisions are made by other people. Those are made by our elected representatives. And ultimately, our commander-in-chief, makes that decision. So, it's not something to blame the military members for if you don't like a decision that a politician makes. That's not the military member didn't make that decision. They just did their duty, because part of the oath of everybody that comes in is that they'll support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, and that they'll obey the orders of the president and the orders of the officers appointed over them. That's everybody coming in takes that oath. They obey the orders. They go where they're told to go, and they do their duty. And they did the right thing. you know, and they did to the best of their duty, their abilities. And I'm proud of all of the men and women that I served with. And I think constantly about, you know, our brothers and sisters that died over there in Afghanistan, that didn't make it home. And then I think about, but now's the time to think about those brothers and sisters that did make it home, but they still have that war inside them. And see if you can't reach out to let them know you care, and help them, you know, get through this difficult time, because this is going to be this very difficult time for them. And then, you know, you got the holidays coming up, which is where, you know, the Thanksgiving, Christmas holidays is really where the highest rate of suicides are. You know, so it's like, you know, there's, you know, you want to continuously reach out to them, be there for them, and just know that you don't want to lose them, and let them know, you know, we don't want to lose you, and you know, we can get through whatever, you know, demons we're fighting, and we can get through it together, and we can be there for each other. So this wasn't a traditional Semper Fortis Jiu-Jitsu culture video, but I felt it was appropriate this week because of the circumstances, and because so many of the people that are practicing Jiu-Jitsu, whether it's in our school or in other schools practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu around the world, are combat veterans, and many of them served in Afghanistan. And so this has a big impact on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu community. And so just think about it, and think about those people. You know, you may not even have been in the service, but you may have a friend or a loved one that was. And, you know, just think about them and reach out to them and let them know that, hey, you know, this is a good time to reach out to people. Let them know that, man, I care about you, I love you, and you're important to me. And so this is a good time to do that. So I encourage you to make that effort, you know, through social media, through phone calls, you know, through just visiting, you know, these people that you care about, you know, just to let them know, hey man, you know, I'm thinking about you, I'm here for you, you know, let's do something, let's talk, you know, let's reminisce about our high school days, you know, whatever it is you talk about, you know, with this person, you know, find something to do with them, you know, let them know they're not by themselves. All right, I rambled on a little bit, but this is an incredibly important topic, and I think, you know, we may not be able to change the world, but we could change the world for one person, you know. So see if you can influence that and try to change the world and change somebody's outcome. All right, that's it for this week. Thank you so much. Until next week. Ciao.